next chapter, which is the fifth chapter, comparing quantities using proportion. So here this chapter is very important chapter, because if you know this chapter and if you are very familiar with this chapter, you will in the higher classes it will be very useful to you. Now see the next chapter, which is comparing quantities using proportion. So here in our daily life situations you will come across, we will compare two quantities, right? Suppose let us consider here, suppose your weight is 30 kgs and your brother weight is 15 kgs. Let us suppose like this. So if I ask who weighs more, right? So what we are doing here, we are comparing the weight of you and your brother. So this is an example of the comparing the quantities. That means you can compare the quantities here by there are two methods to compare the quantities that we are going to discuss in this chapter, by the ratio and by the percentage. You can compare the quantities by taking the ratio, or you can compare the quantities by taking the percentage also. So let us see here what is the meaning of ratio and how to calculate the ratio. Now here, consider here what is the meaning of ratio. Ratio is nothing but the ordered comparison of quantities. What is the meaning of ratio? The ordered comparison of quantities, we call it as a ratio. Let us suppose here, if in your class, suppose some students participated for the voting to elect for the class leader. Suppose two persons are voted. Let us suppose the names of those persons are Sindhu and let me the other name is Sandhya. These two members have participated to become the class leader. So here the voting is done. Let us suppose here in your class 40 students are there. So those 40 students gave votes to these two people and Sindhu got it here. Let us Sindhu got it here 30 votes and Sandhya got it here 10 votes. Right? So if I ask what is the ratio of Sindhu and Sandhya, so what we can do here, we have to take the ratio of these two quantities. How do you can find? The ratio is denoted by the symbol 2 dots. This one we will read as 30 is to 10. How you will read? You can read this one as is to. How you will read here? 30 is to 10. This is the ratio of Sindhu and Sandhya. So here again this ratio you can write in a simpler form. Simpler form is you can cancel these two values so that you can write this one. So you know that here 10 ones are 10 and 10 threes are 30. So what is the simpler form, which is nothing but 3 is to 1. This is the ratio of Sindhu and Sandhya. This is one of the example where we can use ratio in our daily life. So here what is the meaning of the ratio? The ordered comparison of the quantities, we call it as a ratio. Let us consider one more example. Suppose if you want to find the ratio of 1 liter is to 500 ml. How do you find? Can we find directly the ratio or can we divide directly these two values? No. Here you need to check the units here first. Here you know that here the units is liters and here the unit is milliliters. So here you can observe that the liters are not same. So you need to change the liters as the same unit, and you know that here 1 liter is equal to 1000 ml. So in place of liter you can write it here 1000 ml and here 500 ml is there. Clearly here the units are same. Now you can take the ratio of these two quantities. So we can define the ratio as the ordered comparison. Ordered comparison is nothing but you need to see here whether the units are same or not. If the units are not same, you have to change the units so that you can find the ratio of the given quantities. So what is the ratio here? You can observe that here 0, 0, here 0 is 0, that will get cancelled, and 5 ones and 5 twos. So what is the ratio here? 2 is to 1. So like that you need to calculate the ratio of the given quantities. So this is about the ratio. What is the meaning of ratio? The ordered comparison of the quantities, we call it as a ratio. call it as an antecedent. What we call that one? Antecedent, and this B we call it as an consequent. What we call the B? We call it as an consequent. So here the ratio is denoted by two dots like this, and we will read it as A is to B. And this one you can read it as 2 is to 1. This A we call it as an antecedent, and this B we call it as an consequent. A is to B is nothing but A by B. Right? In the form of the ratio you can write it here. In the form of the fraction you can write it as A by B, or it is same as A is to B. Both are same. This is about the ratio. Now let us see about the inverse ratio. Inverse ratio means here you know that here A is to B. It is a ratio. Now only we have discussed. Inverse ratio is nothing but reverse. So the inverse ratio of A is to B is nothing but B is to A. Suppose I ask what is the inverse ratio of 1 is to 2, which is nothing but 2 is to 1. Just write it in a reverse order. That is nothing but the inverse ratio. That means here the numerator will become the denominator and the denominator will become the numerator, or otherwise antecedent will become the consequent and the consequent will become the antecedent in the inverse ratio. So let us suppose consider here some ratio 3 is to 5. What is the inverse ratio of 3 is to 5? The consequent will become the antecedent and the antecedent will become the consequent. This is nothing but the inverse ratio. Suppose they will ask to find the inverse ratio, like this you can find it. So what is the inverse ratio of A is to B, which is nothing but B is to A. This is about the ratio. Now let us see about the compound ratio. Next one, which is the compound ratio. So what is the meaning of compound ratio? Compound ratio is nothing but if you have given any two ratios, you have to convert into one ratio. That we call it as a compound ratio. Suppose here, before that, let us go through one example. After that, we will define what is the meaning of the compound ratio. Let us suppose here, in a few days, one exam will be there. So you will prepare for that exam. So let us suppose two students are there, and one student is reading 3 hours daily. And how many days she read? Let us suppose she read for 15 days. Right? And your friend, one more person is there. She is reading 4 hours a day. In a day she is reading 4 hours. How many days she read? Let us suppose consider here 20, or I am taking here 10. Okay? Let us consider here your friends, two friends are there. They are preparing for the exam. One student is reading 3 hours a day. How many days she read? 15 days. And similarly, one more student is there. She is reading 4 hours a day. For how many days she read? 10 hours. Now, if you want to find who reads more, can we find directly here? Here you can observe that 3 is to 4 is there. Here we got 15 is to 10 is there. Here we got two ratios. By using these two ratios, you can find it directly. We cannot find directly. So, you need to combine these two ratios such that you will get one ratio, that we call it as a compound ratio. Right? So, if you want to find the compound ratio, what we need to do? You need to take the product of the antecedent and you need to take the product of the consequent, so that you will get the compound ratio of the given ratios. So, if you consider this example, 3 hours, one person reads 3 hours a day. How many days she is reading? 15 hours. So, total how many hours she will read? What will you do? You will multiply 3 with 15. So, 45 hours she is reading. Now, let us suppose the other person, she is reading 4 hours a day. Right? How many days she read like that? 10 days. So, total how many hours? Which is 10 into 4, which gives you 40. So, who reads more? The first person reads more, right? So, by seeing itself, the two ratios, we cannot conclude compound ratio. So let us suppose here, if you want to find the compound ratio of A is to B and C is to D. So we have to clear the examples now. In the case of the alphabets, let us define how to find the compound ratio of the given two ratios. So the compound ratio is nothing but A is to B and C is to D. These two ratios are given. If you want to find the compound ratio, you need to take the product of the antecedents and you need to take the product of the consequence, so that you will get the compound ratio of the given two ratios. Like this, you need to find the compound ratio. So how do you find the compound ratio? A into C is to B into D, so that you will get the compound ratio of the given two ratios. Or otherwise, you know that A is to B, you can write it as A by B, and C is to D, you can write it as C by D. If you take the product of these two ratios, what you will get? You will get A into C by B into D, which is nothing but this one only, right? Like this also you can take. What is the meaning of compound ratio? The product of the two ratios will give the compound ratio, right? So we are taking A by B and C by B, C by D. If you are taking the product of these two ratios, you are getting here A into C by B into D. Like that also you can define. So what is the meaning of the compound ratio? If you have given two ratios and after finding the product of these two ratios, you will get the ratio that will become the compound ratio of the given ratios. This is nothing but the compound ratio. Now let us go for the proportion. So what is the meaning of proportion? Suppose if I ask what is the compound ratio of 2 is to 3 and 3 is to 4. So what we will do? Just we will take the product of the antecedent and the product of the consequent. So here 2 into 3, which is 6, 4 into 12, which is 12. Now you can write it in a simpler way. You know that 6 1 is 6, 6 2 is 12. So you will get here 1 is to 2. This is the compound ratio of these two ratios. Or otherwise, you can write this one as 2 by 3 and this one you can write it as 3 by 4. So you need to take the product of these two fractions, so that what you will get 2 into 3, which is 6, 3 into which is 12. You will get here 1 by 2, which is 1 is to 2. Like that also you can calculate. So what is the meaning of compound ratio? You need to take the product of the consequence and you need to take the product of the antecedent, so that you will get the compound ratio of the given ratios. Or otherwise, you can take the product of the two ratios, so that you will get the compound ratio. This is the example for the compound ratio. Now move for the next one, which is proportion. So here, what is the meaning of proportion? If two ratios are equal, then we can say that those two ratios are in the proportion. So here, let us consider here, suppose in your school, for 20 students, one teacher is there. Let us suppose for 20 students, one teacher is there. If I ask you, suppose in your school 200 students are there, then how many teachers are required? This is the question. So again here, take the one example to define the proportion. Suppose for 20 students, one teacher will be there. This is nothing but the students and these are the teachers. So for 20 students, how many teachers are available in your school? One teacher is available. Similarly now, your total strength of your school is 200. Now, how many teachers should be there if the strength is 200? So, if you are getting the question like this, by based on this question, you can observe here these two ratios are equal, right? So, based on this result, we are going to find this result such that these two ratios are equal. Such type of comparison we call it as a proportion. So, this is the example of the proportion. If two ratios are equal, then we can say that those two ratios are said to be in proportion. And the proportion is denoted by the symbol 2 dots and 2 dots. This is nothing but the proportion, or you can keep equal to sign. Anyway, you can define. Now here, let us suppose you don't know how many teachers are there. Let us suppose it as x. So here you equal to 200 is to x. From that you can find the number of teachers required for 200 students. This is the example for the proportion. Let us see how to find this one. So you can write this one as 20 by 1 in the form of the fraction, and this one you can write it as 200 by x. And you know that these two ratios are equal because these two ratios are in proportion. So here if you want to find x, you can do the cross multiplication. So here x into 20 is equal to 1 into 200. Right? Now you can take this 20 to that side. What will it become? X is equal to 1 into 200 by 20. 20 ones, 20 tens, you will get here 10. So how many teachers are required for 200 students? 10 teachers are required. So like this you can calculate if two ratios are in the proportion. Now in the compound ratio we have already discussed, we can find the compound ratio of the given two ratio by using the formula product of the antecedents and the product of the consequence. Now how do you define this one? You can define like this here. What you got it here? X into 20. That means you need to multiply these two values, right? And 1 into 200. You need to multiply these two values so that you can find the value of the x. If two ratios are equal, then you have to take the product of 20 and x is equal to 1 is to 200. So here this x and 20, what we call it as an extremes. What we call? We call 20 and x. These we call it as an extremes. And 1 and 200 we call it as an product of the extremes is equal to product of the means. This is possible when if the two ratios are in the proportion. Here this one and 200, that is the these numbers that is lying inside, that we call it as a means. These are the extremes. If the two ratios are equal, then you will get this equation, which is the product of extremes is equal to the product of the means. When if the two ratios are in the proportion, it is very important, and while doing the problems in exercises we will use this one. So if the two ratios are proportion, then we can say that the product of the extremes is equal to the product of the means. How you got? Just now I have explained by taking the example, like that you got this one. Now let us consider one more example. Suppose if you have given here some number 10 is to 2 is proportional to some 20 is to x. Then they will ask what is the value of the x. Since they already given here these two ratios are in the proportion, now since if two ratios are in the proportion, you can write the product of extremes is equal to the product of the means. So here what are the extremes? These two. And what are the means? These two. So what are the product of the extremes, which is 10 into x is equal to 2 into 20. Now you can find the value of x. X is equal to 2 into 20 by 10. 10 2s are 20, so that you are getting the x value as 4. This is the proportion. This is about the proportion. So here in the ratio we have discussed many things up to now. What is the meaning of ratio? The ordered comparison of two quantities, we call it as a ratio, and the ratio is denoted by A is to B, we call it as an is to, and this A we call it as an antecedent, and this B we call it as an consequent. And if you are writing in the reverse manner, which is B is to A, this one we call it as an inverse ratio. After that we have discussed about the compound ratio. Compound ratio means if you take any two ratios, how do you find the compound ratio? By taking the product of the antecedents and by taking the product of the consequence, so that you can find the compound ratio of the given ratios. After that we have discussed about the proportion. If two ratios are in the proportion, then what we can say it here, the product of the extremes is equal to the product of the means. These things you should know to solve the problems in this exercise. Now see the next one, which is the percentage. So we already discussed there are two methods to compare the quantities. One is the ratio and the other one is the percentage. We already discussed about the ratio. Now see about the percentage. What is the meaning of percentage? The name itself says here percent. Cent is nothing but 100. So for every 100 you need to calculate the percentage. This is nothing but the percentage. How do you define? For every 100 you need to calculate the percentage. Suppose here, let us suppose consider one example. Here one person got 95 marks for 100. So here what is the percentage you can write? You know that the percentage is 95% because we are treating here per every 100. Let us suppose one person wrote the exam for 50 marks. For 50 marks he got 40 marks. What is the percentage of him can be find directly? You cannot find directly because here the percentage you need to convert in the form of the per 100. If you want to convert into the form of the 100, what we need to do? You need to double this number. So 50 plus 50 which gives you 100, 40 plus 40 which gives you 80. Since for every 100 you can calculate the percentage is 80%. He got 80% in the exam. Like that you can calculate the percentage. And let us consider one more example. Suppose one exam is conducted for 25 marks and he got here 20 marks. So if you want to find the percentage, how do you find the percentage? Percentage means for every 100 you need to calculate. So if suppose if you want to give it here 100, which number you need to multiply? Into 4. So 25 into 4. So since we are multiplying, here also you need to multiply with 4. So per 100, how many marks? 80. So you can say here that person got 80% in her marks. That means if you have given any number, if you want to find the percentage, you need to convert that number per every 100 so that you can calculate the percentage. Like this you can calculate, or otherwise you can calculate the percentage in the other manner. How you can calculate here? Suppose if you want to calculate here this one. So here 40, this is the marks he got. So what is the total marks? Which is 100. Since we want to convert this into the percentage, you need to multiply with 100. Right? So that what you will get here, you know that 51s are 52s are. So how much you are getting? 80%. Like that you can convert it into the form of the percentage. Suppose the same example I took here. For 25 marks, he got 20 marks. If you want to find the percentage, you can find it here. How many marks he got? 20. Out of how many marks? Out of 25 marks. Since we want to convert into the percentage, you need to multiply with 100. And again you know that 25 marks, 25 fours, what is the value of 40 into 2? Which is 80%. Like that you can convert into the percentage. Percentage is nothing but per every 100. So, and after that this is about the percentage. Suppose if they said the percentage is increased by 25, then you can write it here 100 plus x percentage. If the percentage is increased by some value, you can treat that percentage as 100 plus x, and if the percentage is decreased by some x, you can write that one as 100 minus x percentage. This one we will learn while going to the exercises. This is about the percentage and the ratio. Based on this we are going to solve the next exercise. From this session is completed.